Elon says he's going to build 11 billion humanoid robots that will do literally anything, ushering in an unprecedented era of peace and prosperity. Hi everyone, JJ here. Welcome back to the Johnston Lounge. Well, today we're going to look at some of Elon Musk's wildest claims about the Tesla Optimus robot. You might be aware that he's been talking a lot about it lately because Tesla car sales, EV sales, haven't been going well, especially in Europe. If you saw my last video, it's still not going well there. So he's been pivoting the company increasingly to AI, to robots, to robotaxis. But the robotaxi rollout hasn't been going as planned. Many timelines missed, cutting back on numbers. It's just dragging on and on. But that Tesla stock price or market cap is currently about 1.4 trillion, I think. So they've got to come up with ideas and actual revenue and profit to really keep that going up. And Elon has just been signed off for that massive pay package up to $1 trillion. But he has to hit certain targets, obviously, and keep that market cap rolling. So he's been talking about Optimus and what the possibilities for the future are. Well, not even possibilities. He's talking like it could happen. So this list here, which is an incomplete list of Musk's insane promises for his robots. So this is not all that he said, but it's definitely a good article to riff on because there's some good claims in here. I mean, I've talked about it before. I've reacted to what Elon said on Joe Rogan's podcast, which I'll link to. A lot of the claims, it's just unbelievable, just claim after claim after claim. He can really just say anything, right? So it starts off, if you believe Elon Musk, though honestly, why would you? And they're linking to this. Musk calls a truce with Trump because money talks. So this on again, off again relationship with Trump, and he has accused Trump of being in the Epstein files. And Elon's claims about different things haven't come to fruition. So that's why they say, why would you believe him? I mean, to be fair, he has come through with things like scaling EVs, scaling energy storage, which is going well, but so many other claims that just haven't come true yet or not even looking like it. So in this Daily Cos article, they say Elon says he's going to build 11 billion humanoid robots that will do literally anything, ushering in an unprecedented era of peace and prosperity. Yes, he said that on Rogan's podcast. He wants to even send his racist encyclopedia to Mars. I mean, it could be arguable, I guess, whether it's racist, but he wants to make it anti-woke, right? I did see an article the other day where a lot of things that Elon talks about, he has adjusted to his worldview. That seems to be where it goes. Elon Musk pitched a rebrand for his era-riddled online encyclopedia, Grokpedia, suggesting that it will one day be named Encyclopedia Galactica, in homage to science fiction author Isaac Asimov. So Elon says, when Grokpedia is good enough, a long way to go, we will change the name to Encyclopedia Galactica. He then adds, copies will be etched in stone and sent to the moon, Mars, and beyond. This time, it will not be lost. So Encyclopedia Galactica, if you don't know, was featured in Asimov's Foundation novels as a repository of all human knowledge to be stored for thousands of years. So Elon takes a lot of what he says from science fiction novels that he obviously read as a kid or, as a teenager, I think. They go on, did we mention that since Elon's cultural reference points seem to be those of a tween who is convinced that because he read one science fiction book, he is light years beyond his peers. The dumb robots are named Optimus, as in Prime. Sigh. In reality, these robots, whose existence will be just over the horizon forever, they say, really only exist as a way for Musk to pretend that he's worth the staggering pay packages his companies are foolish enough to give him. So that's reference to the $1 trillion pay package. mean, it has been falsely said that he has been paid that, or he is being paid that. He does have to hit certain milestones. So, no doubt he'll be doing everything he can, saying everything he can to get the market cap up, to get things happening. But he will have to come up with the goods, like he's saying with these robots. So, here are some things that Musk robots are totally, definitely, absolutely going to be able to do, they say. Get built, number one. Yeah. As just a little bit of a threshold matter, they don't exist yet. Well, technically they do, some, concepts, or it's along the way. There was a clip that came out not long ago, I guess it was a couple of months ago, where they had a business leader in there demonstrating or trying to talk to Optimus, and it was like 10-second delay. They got it to go to the fridge for a Coke, and then it shuffled off, and it was not good compared to the claims that Elon's making about it. And there are other humanoid robots out there that are doing much more impressive things, let's just say that, but you never see the Tesla influencers talking about those unless it's in direct competition in terms of them not being as good, but they some of them are pretty good, especially the ones from China. Tesla says there is an Optimus pilot production line and that the robots are being tested in Musk's factories and offices. But of course, though they're apparently just at the let the robots wander around the hallway stage, by 2026, production will be in full swing, they say, with 1 million units per year by 2030, or it might be 2029. Sure, they say. I mean, Elon's moving the goalposts, changing his timelines, notorious for that. He says it's really just optimism, extreme optimism, but he can pretty much put anything down to extreme optimism, or in a legal sense, corporate puffery. It's not lies, it's corporate puffery. B for everyone is the next heading. Musk is currently predicting that these things will sell for $20,000, which is just a wee bit out of the purchase dozens of them for my home range for most people. He also wants to have strong influence over his robot army. Now, we talked about that on the last earnings call as a robot army, which is pretty disturbing. And if you think about these robots, they'll have cameras on them, they'll have microphones. And if he thinks of it as an army that he can not control, he said influence. And that's why he wants to be the head of Tesla. He wants to have the $1 trillion pay package. So he's got the best chance of influencing his robots. So, do we want these things in our homes with Elon Musk controlling them? Now, there have been allegations that he's literally a fascist, a tech fascist. I mean, I've done a few videos about that. There are definitely people out there tracking it. This is one recent post from the Unpopulist. Even by a strict definition, Elon Musk is a fascist. He is weaponizing Tolkien to promote violence by hard men against Asian immigrants. So Elon says a lot of things on there daily. I mean, he says that he's not a fascist. He hates being called a Nazi or anything like that ever since that salute that he gave early on in the year. But he has backed it up with a lot of really questionable stuff, and people keep posting about it. And this one here, Elon whines about being called a Nazi. Falsely labeling non-violent people as fascist or Nazi should be treated as an incitement to murder, he says. And this is from the free speech absolutist Elon Musk. And then we have posts like this where they say this is just blatantly racist. And you can see here that Elon's reposted Ann Coulter, who says Afghans are primitive people, and it goes on for there. And so every day there's something like that on Elon's X. So what are we supposed to think when he's just posting stuff like that all day, every day? Well, periodically, you just can't get away from it. So he says, I'm not a fascist, I'm not a racist, and then proceeds to post all this stuff. How do you make the robot a ketamine-addled racist, they say? More to the point, they say, how do you make people want to pay mid-five figures for a ketamine-addled racist robot? And he does tend to make things within his, that has his values or worldview, right? With the Grokpedia and X. So why wouldn't this robot have his worldview? It's probably going to have Grok inside it, right? Or a version of that. Who knew Musk was such an abolitionist, they say? Well, sure. He's no doubt always been against prison for himself and his cronies. And Doge comes to mind. There's been speculation or talk that there was a lot of crimes committed there that might catch up with at least the staff following Musk's orders, right? One day because of what they did. When people go back and actually look at it, say when the next DOJ has a look at what was happened when he basically dismantled whole departments and was really doing what he wants. But Musk is nothing if not a man of the people. So he wants to make sure we all get the chance at forever freedom. So, where does Optimus fit into this? They ask. Per Musk, his pretend robot may provide a more humane form of containment of future crime. You know, we don't generally try to contain future crime because of how it doesn't exist yet and all. But since Musk has an unmatched ability to take the wrong lessons from the books he pretends to read, he seems to think that Philip K. Dick's pre crime system in the Minority Report was inspirational rather than dystopian. Seems to be like that quite a lot. These tech billionaires, they were libertarians, but they've sort of morphed into tech fascists by my assessment over the past few years. In Musk's Brave New World, probably another book where he missed the point. One day you could get a free Optimus to follow you around and prevent you from committing crimes. But other than that, you get to do anything, Musk says. Next is going to Mars, of course. Hasn't talked too much about that lately, I don't think, but the timelines for that have changed and changed. SpaceX is going to Mars and it will take Optimus with it next year. And then humans will join them by 2029 or 2030. Sure. But in 2017, Musk said that people would be on Mars by 2024. But maybe he was just waiting for Optimus. So back in 2017, so that rings a bell too about FSD, full self driving. He said that people would be able to go from coast to coast in the US in FSD, going to sleep in the car, not touching the wheel once. And here we are in 2025. So he also said these things about Mars. So again, why are people believing him when things are so delayed like this? Extreme optimism. I mean, how extreme? Maybe it's decades on the extreme scale, right? Oh, he will also need to stop his SpaceX rockets from exploding for this to work. Well, they have tended to iterate a lot. Supporters will say that they're trying to get things right, so they're just testing a certain thing each time, but that's a lot of money, including taxpayer money, to try and get to Mars, which he said would have happened by now, right? And speaking of Optimus on Mars, I mean, have they even thought about maintenance? Mars is dusty. I mean, that's all just pure fantasy, isn't it? To think that the robots could go and do things there. It's going to be a long time before they could send rockets to Mars with Optimus robots and for Optimus robots to do anything useful there in the kind of environment which is colder than Antarctica and the soil is poisonous. So if they're going to prepare gardens and grow things for us, they've got a lot of work to do on their own. Are we going to communicate from here to Mars to direct them what to do? I mean, have you seen the communications between Mars and Earth? Elon released a promo video of Optimus folding a shirt. Now that seems useful, except he later had to admit that Optimus couldn't do it autonomously. Isn't being able to do things autonomously kind of the whole point of robots? Well, yes. Another one came out the other day. I think it was called Neo, where they had it in a home. They're focused on getting it into people's homes, and you can buy it now. But then they revealed that it was actually teleoperated. So you have to agree to have like a teleoperator operating it, basically looking into your home if they're not actually in the home. So that seems like a huge drawback for these beta testers to have people or teleoperators in their home. Now, eliminate poverty. Now, this is something he also said on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was sort of implying, or not even implying, he did say that it's kind of extreme capitalism that will end up with socialism because money won't be needed, of course, in his universe, and that is this probably the Star Trek universe, which he misinterprets as well. It was said that the PayPal mafia, when they were in the PayPal office, I know Peter Thiel said this, that they were more into Star Wars because it's more of capitalist kind of universe than Star Trek is. If you think about the Star Wars, that was always, cargo ships and trading and all that. So very capitalist. Okay, let's see if you can follow the math. The robots will cost about $20,000 each, but they will also be ubiquitous and freely available, that none of us will need to have jobs, and we will get a universal high income because those robots will be so much more productive than human plebs. That's right. He has said $20,000. And just remembering here that when the Cybertruck was first revealed, he did say it would be for under $40,000. He put that up in lights, and when it came out, it was $100,000. So by the time these things come out and people are able to buy them, is it going to be $20,000? Perhaps they'll be subsidized by venture capitalists like Uber was for a while. Or is that a possibility? I don't know if Elon can talk them into it, I suppose. But it isn't really clear how this robot based economy would quite work. You have to find the money to buy your robots, unless you are a criminal and get a surveillance one for free, a robot that will follow you around, preventing you from committing crimes. But once you have the robots, they will be so productive that you'll quit your job, but somehow still have access to an infinite money spigot or an infinite money glitch, as Elon actually said that he thinks that the robots will be an infinite money glitch because they'll be able to do so much work and earn money for us, but we still have to buy them. And will there be maintenance? Will there be subscription? So I'm not sure Elon's fully thought this through. Is he going to pay us? Feels like Musk, the world's richest man, could just directly give us all the money rather than force this Rube Goldberg nonsense. Babysit. No, I don't think this is one that many people would go for unless it's way down the track. Imagine your precious darlings in the care of a glitchy robot strongly influenced by Musk. As I said, you're going to have something in your home and in your business, a surveillance type of robot. He might say that, it's not surveillance, it's all privacy and everything, but do we believe him with cameras and microphones and attached to Tesla servers, right? They'll definitely be attached to AI. And speaking of his AI, we have these kinds of stories coming out where Musk is burning $1 billion a month right now. Apparently, this video from Wall Street Millennial breaks it down, which is a lot of money. So that's more about the AI bubble and how that will work out. But also his XAI data center, Colossus, and they're building a second one, which is in Memphis, where people fear Elon Musk's supercomputer is making them ill. Colossus, an AI computer facility, is blamed for worsening air pollution in a historic black community. Now, I made a separate video about this months ago. They've got temporary in quotes, gas generators there because the power grid can't take it. There's just not enough power. They brought in polluting generators. That's what they're talking about there. Now, save Tesla is the next heading. It's an important one. Somehow, the thing that does not exist yet is going to become 80% of Tesla's value, Musk explained in his Master Plan Part 4 video, which I did do a video about as well. It was pretty vague, but it was all about the robots. Yes, 80% of Tesla's value. So you do get the feeling it's all about the future. Look over here, not what is actually happening, what is actually making the money now, which is EV sales. There was a time when investors, retail investors especially, were saying that it's going to grow 30 to 50%, the car sales, indefinitely, really, and that really slowed down, especially when Musk went into politics and people started really disliking the brand, at least 50% of people, possibly more. And as I said, he's out there on X every day tweeting this kind of racist stuff and fascist kind of stuff, whether he likes people to say that or not. It just seems like it is really. Maybe he just can't see it because that's his worldview and he doesn't think it's like that. Yes, Optimus will somehow make Tesla worth $25 trillion because this man is a toddler with a toddler's understanding of money. Well, the richest man in the world has a toddler understanding of money. I'm not sure if that's quite true. I think he understands how to make money and how to pump up the value of his company. He's been doing it very successfully so far, but this rhetoric, these claims, I'm not going to call them promises because he wouldn't say that they're promises. It's corporate puffery, it's extreme optimism, but people do believe this stuff. And whenever deadlines go by, they dismiss it. Oh, he was wrong, but it's definitely going to happen. He's said that he's been too optimistic, but they eventually happen. But will they? I mean, this is really important to the future of Tesla's value that these things do happen. He's brought a lot of people along for the ride on this. And they end on this: be a heart surgeon. Come on, Optimus is not going to be better than the best human surgeon. I'm sure he's thinking of the hands, the robot hands that will become so good and with AI that it could be the best surgeon. I mean, how long will this take? There are surgery robots that I'm sure there will be in the future, but I think that they'll be highly specialized, not a generalized humanoid like that. But who knows? It could happen. Who knows? But just to be sure, why doesn't Musk be the first to go under the robot's knife, they say? And the first person to go in the rockets, like Jeff Bezos has been in his own rockets. Is Elon going to get in his own rockets? Or is there too much at stake, too much risk? He once said that he wanted to die on Mars. I just really can't see him going to Mars. Doing that is just another thing that he said, just saying words at this point, right? But I don't know, maybe it could happen. What do you think? Let me know what you think of any of this. Do you think this robot's going to be a great success and it's going to account for 80% of the company value? And all of these things will happen, all these claims that he's making really on a weekly basis, getting bigger and bigger. That's the thing. His claims have been getting bigger and bigger and bigger over the years. Remember, 1 million autonomous robotaxis on the road by 2020. Yes, he's late with that. It's got better slowly while Waymo's out there with autonomous cars. Yes, we can have a debate about the technology and stuff, but that's the current reality. And now he's pointing to robots, that it's going to be 8 billion robots or so, more robots than people. It's going to create a environment, a world economy where money doesn't need to exist. It becomes irrelevant. That's what he said. And it's kind of a socialism, extreme capitalism, the richest person in the world ushering in a kind of socialism where money will be irrelevant. I wonder if this has got anything to do with what he's seen in New York with a kind of socialist leaning mayor getting in there. Maybe you can see the tide turning in a way to get there to have popularity if that actually happens on a wider scale and what he's talking about with politics doesn't actually happen. Anyway, we will have to see. Let me know what you think about the Optimus robot and Elon's claims for this. I would be really interested to know. And right now, I'm going to put a related link on screen if you're watching this on YouTube. On YouTube and on Spotify and elsewhere, there'll be related links in the description and the show notes area. So do check that out. YouTube and Spotify are the places for video. They're the two places. So do follow on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to put a subscribe link on YouTube screen here. Just click that if you're not subscribed already. And thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.